YouTube, vinyl community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the top 5 Beach Boys albums I would recommend if you're getting into the Beach Boys for the first time. If you're new to the group, these would be the top 5 records I would recommend to say, hey, this is a pretty good scope of what you can expect as you dig deeper into their discography, but one I thought was a good jumping off point. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, first off, welcome, but second off, I talk about a lot of music on this channel, but I do heavily kind of lean on the Beach Boys, just because they're one of my favorite groups. There's a lot to learn about them. So the 5 records I'm going to show here are in no numerical order. They're not like start here, start here, start here. It's kind of a guide point of like, you should check out these 5. If you're going to do anything with the Beach Boys, these are the 5 I would recommend. First off, Pet Sounds. This is kind of an obvious one. It's been reviewed to death, and I've noted this is probably going to be one of the last albums I ever review on my channel, ever. So when I'm like 90, I'll probably tackle this thing at some point. But Pet Sounds is a brilliant record because not only does it showcase the dynamic strength of what Brian can do in the studio with the Wrecking Crew, the vocals on this album are just a masterclass of the youthful expression of growing up and the feelings that you encounter along the way. The detail, the articulation, the ups and downs, I mean, everything that they put into their vocals is just nothing short of truly fantastic. And this album does deserve all the accolades that it gets. Because it really is a fantastic piece of work. It truly is. It inspired Sgt. Pepper. It's inspired countless other bands over the years. It's an amazing album. If you're new to the group, you'll probably know Wouldn't It Be Nice or Sloop John B. What else is on here you might know? That's probably it. But give it a chance. It's a very dense, very layered record. There's a lot going on. But it's one of the most rewarding experiences you can ever have. Personally, for me, this album has gotten me through some of my hardest times. It's one of the most beautiful records ever created, and very highly recommend Pet Sounds. Up next, I'd recommend its predecessor by 1 or 2 albums, The Beach Boys Today. This is a fantastic album. It's kind of like what would become Pet Sounds. This album heralds some of the earlier Beach Boys feel, not necessarily lyrical content, but the feel of the Beach Boys is becoming much more mature. The growth on this record compared to what they had done on their previous records was astronomical. I mean, it's night and day compared to their surf stuff. Brian took the deep dive with this thing, and Capitol wasn't so stoked about that at the time, so they ended up doing the Summer Days album, which had more of a summery feel, which is what they were known for. And then Brian said, nope, going right back to Pet Sounds. So like, he fought tooth and nail to do what he wanted to do, and he created some amazing art because of it. But the Beach Boys Today has some of their best pop songs ever. It's got Dance, 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 Please Let Me Wonder, Do You Want to Dance, When I Grow Up to Be a Man. I mean, this thing's loaded with some hits on this one. As well as some very beautiful ballads on side 2. With work that would start to become the Brian Wilson feel and sound over the years to come. So from 1965, the Beach Boys Today, highly recommended. I know we just spent a month talking about this album, but Sunflower, what more can be said? This album shows the group working together as a group. You guessed it. The first 2, Pet Sounds and Beach Boys Today, are very much a Brian Wilson project with the guys coming in to do their vocals and some bits and pieces here and there of instrumentation. But this album is all the Beach Boys together at once. This came out in a very difficult time in their lives when they were in between labels, trying to figure out who they were, where their place was in the world, and the harmony reflected on this record is undeniable. It's full of earworms. It's an album that gives and gives and gives the more you pay attention to it. And the more you listen to it over the years, it's another very rewarding experience. So Beach Boys, Sunflower is another one you should check out. Holland. This was one of the first reviews I did on the channel way back in the day, 40 years ago. And absolutely brilliant piece of work. By this point, Brian's involvement with the band was a little bit minimal here. He showed up and he's on a couple of tracks, but it wasn't his thing at this point. So the rest of the guys had taken over by now. So what started with Sunflower, catapulted to what became this album. And this record is absolutely amazing. I mean, at this point, we've got two new guys in the group, Ricky Furtado and Blondie Chaplin, and their addition to the band is undeniable. I mean, they were so talented and so what the band needed to get that extra spur of energy to do something different and creative and go to places they've never gone before. This doesn't sound like the Beach Boys of the 60s, and it doesn't sound like the Beach Boys of anything after this album. It's a truly amazing record, and there's some great songs on here like Funky Pretty, which is a Brian song, Only With You, which is one of the best songs they ever did, The California Saga, Ricky singing lead on, Blondie singing lead on Leaving This Town. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But you get a bonus 7-inch on here of Brian doing his Mount Vernon and Fairway fairy tale, which is pretty fun. But Holland, this album takes you places, man. And what list wouldn't be left off without Endless Summer? I mean, for most people, this is their introduction to the Beach Boys. And rightly so. I mean, this album, not only is the cover one of the best album covers ever created, I mean, it's just a perfect image of the hairy-looking Beach Boys with a wave. Catch a wave, if you will. This album is a double LP set that captures all of the early 60s hits, all of the surfing stuff, all the car stuff, all the beach songs. This is where you should go if you're getting into the early Beach Boys. You can't go wrong with Endless Summer. It's fantastic. It's a great listen. Even after all these years, it's still one of my favorite albums they ever did, ever put out. It's unbelievable. And how 2 LPs worth of tracks never get boring, and you know every single song and every single word. It's insanely catchy, and it really, captures the spirit of the era of the early group. So that's it. Quick video. These are the top 5 records I would recommend if you're new to the Beach Boys. Give these guys a try. I really think you'll dig them. And that's it. So my name is Giggens. This has been the Beach Boys top 5 albums I would recommend if you're new to the group. Give them a try. See what you think. This is a pretty wide scope of what they produced over the years. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Giggens. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.